John, there's a couple of things. One is a tactical footballing thing. He brought Jorginho from Napoli, put him in the centre of midfield where Kante had been magnificent, not just for Chelsea, but for Leicester City when they won the Premier League, and for France when they won the World Cup. And he gave Kante a role wide of that midfield three. And that in itself is a big mistake. There's another issue as well. Abramovich has been refused a visa, an English visa. He's now had to go to Israel and he gets a visa. On an Israeli visa, he can only live 6 months of the year, or the visa at least only lasts 6 months. He's got to renew it. The other thing is Chelsea have cancelled the proposed new stadium. So there's every sign that Abramovich is not really into the club and the soccer as much as he was. He's got bigger fish to fry. So all of that's bubbling away in the background. The thing about Kante in particular, John, I blame Sarri for that the way I'd blame him for Hazard.
Oh, there's no doubt. He actually criticised Kante to say he didn't have the technical ability that Jorginho has to play in the middle of the field. I find that unbelievable. I think it wouldn't be so bad, Eamon, if Jorginho was really, really a top-class player doing his stuff.
Yeah.
That might be some excuse for it. He's not doing anything,
no.
Jorginho. I think he's a huge disappointment. He doesn't seem to be able to run. He plays the obvious pass all the time. He doesn't get tackles in. I don't know what the contribution he's making. Well, he's very, very poor.
I tell you.
In the meantime, Kante is playing wide of the right. Kante will always give you game, Eamon, wherever he plays. He's such a game lad. It's unbelievable. And I think Kante is still doing a really good job for Chelsea. But I would prefer him in the middle of the field. And I think the best thing, if he'd have bought a really, really top-class right-sided midfield player and leave Kante where he was, I think he's actually weakened the team in the transfers that he's made and the policy that he has.
Yeah, I tell you what the statisticians say, Didi. I'm looking at the stats, and he's had more ball time on the ball, Jorginho, than any other player in the Premier League. And against West Ham, he played an astounding 180 passes. That's not me. That's the person who wrote the piece describing this fella, Jorginho. I don't know if you've seen enough of him, Didi, to form a judgment, but John's absolutely right. He never plays a progressive pass, never gets a tackle in, and he isn't in the same parish as Kante.
Yeah. These stats can sometimes be misleading. You wouldn't play 180 passes if you had to play forward passes or progressive passes. Otherwise, you wouldn't get the number of passes in 90 minutes. I think the bottom line is, I think Jorginho is a very capable player. I do like him. But I think in that position, they had the best probably in Europe, maybe the world.
Yes.
In Kante. Kante won the league with Leicester. He had a huge impact, him and Mahrez. He came to Chelsea, he won the league there. Again, he had a huge impact playing in the middle with Matic. And the way they play, I think you lack one offensive player because Kante is a player who likes to have the game in front of him. He's not a player who wants to receive the ball with a back to goal. Now, if you have got two players, I think you've got to make a decision. And if he thinks Jorginho is the better fit, then he's got to put Kante on the bench and bring somebody in because I think the way they play with two holding midfielders, it makes you lack creativity, it makes you lack pace, and it makes you lack committing players forward. And in my book, Kante would be in the team ahead of Jorginho any day of the week. And I agree with you. That's one thing. He has to take responsibility.
Yes.
Jorginho is a capable player, yes, but I think in that position they already had the best in the world.
And he won the World Cup as well with France. And so did Paul Pogba.
That, yeah.
And so did Paul Pogba.